What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So, if you weren't a part of last night's AMA, I think this was the best AMA, hands down, than any AMA that we've done so far. Typically, what we've seen has been just them coming out, the developers coming out, and different breeds coming out and saying, this is what we have on the plate, this is what we're doing, and then taking kind of pre-planned questions after the fact. It wasn't necessarily like from just the community. It was pre-planned, and you really didn't have a lot of questions that were being answered. Granted, there's a lot of people that probably don't know, what they're talking about when they ask the questions, and I heard some of that. But we had a lot of really, really good questions. I would say 97% of them were really, really good, and also very civil. Together. It wasn't anything that people were just spamming one type of question. And when they answered the question, it really left no information after that, or no questions after that. You do have some follow-up questions, but after they fully answer it, people didn't come on and ask that question again because it was fully answered. And I love that. Even though, some of the answers are more like, we don't have an update on that, or we talked about this, we do not have an update on, whatever it is. And it was great. Whether you had a bunch of updates or you didn't, it was the fact that the community can speak. And that's what we wanted. We wanted the community to come out and talk about what they wanted to hear about, right? Whether it was about Burns, it was about Shibarium, it was about Robinhood. It doesn't really matter what it was about. We just wanted to hear the community actually speak. And that's great to be able to see everybody come up, whether they were asking questions or not. There were people that were not asking questions and just shouting out Shiba Inu and Bone and Leash, and it was just amazing to be able to see the community come out and say anything. So guys, before we get into this and everything that did happen here, any type of news that I saw, I stayed for the whole entire AMA. I asked a question. I wanted to ask a different question, but the person that I wanted to ask a question to was not available at the time. His mic was messed up. So I wanted to ask that question, kind of like a dual question, really, leading up to it. And I'll talk about what I wanted to ask in the beginning. So before we get started, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one. And make sure that you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. Also, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, @Perry8K is how you follow me, or where you how you find me on Twitter. I have a lot of updates, regarding burns, from me, from Shiba Burn, from the community as well, if we burn off a lot. And so do all that. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So we're gonna start with what I asked. So I talked about community burns. I wanted to know if they supported community burns, because it seems like anytime they bring up burns, it's all about what Shiba Inu is going to do. But do they see the efforts that are being done by a company like Bigger Entertainment, or the Let It Burn channel, or Shiba Burn Tube, or even Shiba Burn? Like, do they see the efforts that are being put in place from the community in burning off all these coins? And SHIB Queenie answered and said yes. I mean, they do see the burns. She said that she does some burns herself, or she did some burns herself, and that's great to be able to see that somebody on the dev team even supports burns a little bit, to be able to do something, because it shows how much they do support it, or how much that person does support it, whether the whole team supports it or not. There were a couple of things coming out and saying that certain people do not like burns and do not support burns, but majority of the I can't speak for all the devs, but at least SHIB Queenie does like the burns. So that was great to be able to hear that some of the dev team does like community burns and does see the burns, but I don't know how much they like it. And I wanted to ask kind of a follow-up question there, like if we saw 60 trillion burn off, would that be something you're in support of, or would that be something to where it's like, well, we don't know why this is happening and now it's putting a damper on things, type of thing? But I couldn't get that question in. There was a couple of responses, telling me about how much they do support burns, or some people that don't. So that was good. But I did want to ask another follow-up question. So that was kind of a one question, or two questions in one. But I wanted to ask another question that kind of talked about Shiba Burn. right? Shiba Burn, if you didn't know, got put on the known scam list during Shiba Burn's AMA. And it was kind of a shock to the devs of Shiba Burn and also to me because I was getting comments on my stream saying, hey, they were added to the known scam list. Like, what's going on here? And I wanted to ask Trophius, hopefully I'm saying his name right, Trophius about that because he was he's not the lead of like the defense breed, but he's a part of the defense breed. And I believe it was put on by like Stixels. So I wanted to ask them about what was going on there and why that was being done because I wanted to have a civil conversation. It's just something that's that we're not, maybe yelling back and forth because I haven't talked to them ever. I just wanted to get an understanding as a person that aligns themselves with good companies and coins and doesn't and likes to be transparent as possible. I just wanted a kind of a solution or kind of just to tell me why that happened, because from what I heard, it was about a conversation, but the conversation happened after it was listed on there. So I don't know. It was a little bit weird. So I just wanted to talk to him. So I did reach out on Twitter. I don't know if he's going to get back, but take your time. I just want to be able to figure all of that out. But another update was Robinhood. A bunch of people asked about Robinhood and when they're going to be listed, and they didn't have an answer to that, obviously, because they don't have any inside information on Robinhood. It's more or less that Robinhood will list them when Robinhood feels like they have the capacity or the ability to list them. So that was interesting, and there were a couple of questions that asked about Robinhood that came across, and it was all the same answer, and it just depends on when you come into the AMA. You may come in late. It was like a 2.5 or 3 hour AMA. It went to like 11 o'clock, which is insane. I didn't think it was going to go that long. But another thing they talked about is Shibarium. They didn't have any updates on Shibarium either of when it's going to be launched and all of the details of it, just basically talking about how Shibarium is going to be something big, a game changer there, but they really didn't have any updates on when it will be launched there. They did talk about the burn mechanism, the fact that they don't know exactly how much any type of burn will be, how they will do it and how much will come out of this. But just know that there will be something in place that does, support burns in a way. But it's not necessarily, like, oh, they're going to burn, 90% of the supply at once. They said, yeah, if you don't want this to be like any type of pump and dump play, right? SHIB is a big coin, big project. Now the ecosystem is big, and you don't want anything to be, torn apart just by a 90% burn. And I know they don't have 90% of the supply to be able to burn off anyways. That's a lot of money that they would have to buy back. So they don't really know a lot there. And also, they talked about ShibaCon. Now, there was a lot of other stuff. I believe Zach came on and talked about ShibaCon, and there was like a miscommunication because Trophius said that, they don't sponsor events or they don't, they can support community gatherings or encourage it, but they're not going to sponsor it. It's not going to be approved by the devs. And there was just some verbiage when it comes to ShibaCon. That was brought up as well. So there were a lot of great questions over this AMA, absolutely phenomenal questions. And I was really excited to be a part of this. I didn't know how it was going to be because I thought it was just going to be, maybe an informal thing with just a couple of people, maybe one or two devs or something. But you had a lot of breeds that were there that were able to, communicate with the SHIB community and the leash community and the bone community, and just the SHIB ecosystem was amazing to be able to see that. So I was happy with the AMA. I feel like this was the best AMA that they've done so far. Every other one, it's like not really organized. This one, we had some technical difficulties, especially with Trophius, and I'm upset because I couldn't ask the question. I was trying to stay around in order to, ask another question, but there were so many requests that they couldn't bring anybody up that already asked, and I understand that. I appreciate the fact that they are letting everybody speak before anybody else. It's not a hierarchy in any way, but I do appreciate what they did with the AMA. It was really, really good. So I don't know if any of them are going to see this, but I think it was definitely the best AMA, and I should have streamed it, the whole entire thing, 3 hours, because it was really good. And I didn't expect it to be that good. I really didn't. After everything else that happened, I expected it to be like, or every other AMA, I expected it to be a little bit more communicative with the SHIB community, but not as much as it was. So um, if any of you are watching, thank you for doing that. It was a great AMA, and I said that on Twitter. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have anything that you heard within the AMA that was enlightening, that was eye-opening, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you check out the links down below. It does help out the channel. I do have a Let It Burn channel to where we stream 24 hours and we burn off all the revenue. I have all of the video revenue from the whole entire channel, membership revenue, video revenue, stream revenue, chat revenue, all of that stuff. All of the profits go towards burning off SHIB. So be a part of that. Link in the description. Let It Burn channel on YouTube. And like I said, also give me a follow on Twitter at Perry8K. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you in the next one.